This is how these two apartment buildings made me $200,000. Let's go check it out. I was wrong. It's definitely something I had not seen before. So this concludes the part 3 of kind of just like my past to present flip. I guess just going in depth or analysis of things that I would have done differently. Giving you guys the kind of like the backstory, the context behind the flips, what I endured, what I went through, and kind of just what I learned throughout those processes. And so yeah, coming in this final video, this is probably the reason why I won't buy multifamily anytime soon, at least for flip purposes. Now, if it's just an investment and you kind of get some turnkey, great, perfect. But that wasn't my exit strategy going in. And so anyway, in April of last year, 2024, I decided to acquire 2 multifamily properties located right outside of Houston, Texas, and a great suburb that had a great school district. Like, again, on paper, this property was A+ deal. I was getting them at a great discount. You know, the rents were there, the numbers made sense, everything was kind of perfect. And so I was like, man, I can't pass up on this deal. Even though I was going through another renovation process when I discussed with you in the past, I was like, man, let me acquire these two duplexes, and you know, I think I'll make some great returns on it, which I still did. Starting off, like I said, mistake number 1, when I first walked the property, I met the sellers there, older couple looking to get out of the real estate market, and you know, they were just ready to sell. And so I meet the seller there, and she's like, hey, only 2 of the owners are home. Do you mind just walking 2 of the units, 1 from each side? I'm like, sure. I guess that'll work. And so the 2 units that I worked conveniently were the 2 best units of the properties, and I had absolutely no idea, you know, what to expect. And so I go in there, and you know, I see the first unit, and it's in like A+ condition. The seller takes really good care of it. I'm like, oh, bro, these properties are great condition. Like, this is gonna be a walk in the park. And then I go to the next one. It needed a little bit more work, but again, it was in good enough condition where I was like, this is not gonna need nearly as much work as I thought. Only the exterior is gonna really need work. And so the other 2 units, I don't walk at all, and I just leave trust in the seller that, you know, they are what she said they were, and you know, don't worry about it. So put a pin in that. So we go on, and I acquire these 2 properties for $200,000 each, and so in total we're at $400,000. I think we had an estimated ARV of around like $775 to $800 actually. But anyway, long story short, so we go in, and I'm like, I got quoted at $38,000 to $40,000 for exterior renovations on both properties. And so I was like, okay, cool. That'll leave me about an extra $10K or so for any like little minor repairs that's needed in the interior. And so we go and do that, and you know, again, everything's going fine as far as the exterior. I closed on the property, like I said, let me not get too ahead of myself. Closed on the property, and the first objective or goal was really just to clean them up and then put them on market. And so that was the goal, and collect rent. All 4 units were occupied, and so to collect rent while basically just fixing outside, and boom, cut and dries that. So anyway, we go in, fix them up. I think it takes like maybe 2 weeks to clear up the exterior. We replaced the siding. The siding had been rotten. We decided to replace the roofs on the carports, and we decided to replace both roofs on each duplex. And so, like I said, total out, we're about 40K in. And so finished that, and then now it's time for us to check out the rest of the units for photos, because we plan on, like I said, listing here pretty soon. So we go in, and I go in the unit that I hadn't checked on the left, the one where I said the guy had like an A+ unit. Checked basically his neighbor, and that absolutely blew my mind on how bad that property was. We go in, and the tenant had notified us, like, hey man, like it's pretty bad. You know, the previous landlord didn't really update it much. Yada yada. This doesn't work. So they're like, okay, cool. Like, it's nothing we hadn't seen before. I was wrong. It's definitely something I had not seen before. So we go in, and yeah, it was just absolutely like mold everywhere, like on the walls. The carpet had, you know, feces. And we go into like a pantry, and the pantry has like, literally, I kid you not, like 1,000 roaches, like just crawling everywhere. And me and my realtor look at each other like in complete disgust, because we're like, how is this possible? Like, how's this happening right now? This is completely disgusting. And so we're looking at each other in disgust, and that set the tone throughout the rest of the walkthrough. We're just like, what is going on right now? And so we go in, you see like the ceiling caving through. Man, it was just complete disaster. And at that moment, I realized I got duped. I was like, wow, she didn't walk me through that one on purpose. Like, there's a reason why she didn't walk me through it, because she thought I would have just like declined to buy the property. And so again, that's a mistake number one. Always be overly diligent. You know, when you're putting thousands and thousands of dollars on the line, hundreds of thousands even, you need to be diligent every single step of the process. And so that was, again, a rookie mistake by me, by just taking her word that all the properties were in good condition and that I didn't need to see the rest of the units. It's like, how bizarre is that? Again, I didn't get any inspections done, so everything is kind of like at face value of what I'm expecting to be completed. And so anyway, we go in, and I'm like, wow, this is way more than what I thought. And then we walk the other side, same thing. There's a lot, you know, plumbing issues, doors with holes in them. Again, same thing, same story. Not as bad, but same story, in poor condition. And so me and my realtor look at each other and like, hey, like, before this goes on market, you know, we're gonna have to make this enticing. So like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna at least fix up this one unit, the one that's a lesser of the two, so I'm just not blowing money completely out of pocket, and that tenant still living in the other one. I'm gonna fix this one that's vacant up, and we'll list that one first and then proceed to go to the other one. So that's what I did. I took a big risk of, like, I think I probably put $20K, I think, in that one. Again, that was all out of pocket just because I underestimated the budget. And so put that out of pocket, and then we decided to list. And like I said, as soon as we list, we get great results. I want to say like day one, we have tons of calls. By day three, multiple offers, probably like 5 offers by day 2 or 3. And at that point in the market, it was pretty crazy because I hadn't experienced that yet, where I'm just getting like offers off the get-go. It was taking me like months to get offers. And to see it happen in like 2 days, it was like, wow, this is nuts. And so anyway, we go through that process, and then it comes the inspection. And again, we get dinged on the inspection report with things left and right that needed to be mitigated that weren't fixed. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. So the buyer that we go with, he wants to buy both properties. We let him know, hey, this other unit's in really poor condition. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, you're gonna have to put some money in to fix it. So we help him out on the buy side. So basically, like I said, I acquired both properties. I was probably all in about $475. And we go under contract with a buyer that's willing to purchase both properties for, in total, $675. And so I think, like I said, I initially wanted $7 to $725, but because of the condition of the other unit, and he was willing to take both of them, I was willing to take a discount and just get rid of both of them at the same time and be done with it. So that happens. Again, we go through inspection report, have a lot that comes back on it. And also, there's a hurricane that happens at the same time in the Houston area. And so there's, I think, some trees that fell down, some damage that happened from that. Like our ceiling had collapsed in one of the areas. And so I'm like, man, if there's not one thing, there's another every time. And like I said, simultaneously, I'm dealing with my other flip. So I'm managing 3 different flips at this time. So I go from 1 to 3, essentially. And I'm like, man, this is just headache after headache after headache after headache. But the check at this one, at the end of this one, is going to look super nice. So there's at least enough motivation to stick it through. And so we get to the end. The day we're supposed to close, I'm actually in Hawaii at this time. And Hawaii's 5 hours behind Central Time, which is where we use and operate in Texas. And so I want to say at like 6 a.m. in Hawaii, I get like a text or an email saying like buyer's backed out and it's terminating the contract. And I'm like, what? Like, I had already signed at this point, like a few days before going to Hawaii. So I'd already signed. I saw how much I was going to make. I'll be transparent. I think I was going to make like $142,000 after all fees. And so I'm like, I was expecting that and it to be done. And so yeah, to see that, I'm like, hold on, what's happening? And so we get on the phone, we're calling lenders, we're calling the guy, and he's not having it. He's like, I'm done. I don't want to close on this. You're trying to give me these damaged properties. And like, me and my realtor are like so thrown off. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you weren't transparent about what happened during the storm. And we're like, all these things have been repaired. Like there's absolutely no concern there. And he's like, well, I'm not going to be forced to buy damaged properties, and I'm done. And so I'm like, okay, well, you're going to have to forfeit, because this guy put down $20,000 in earnest money to be the first ones there. So I'm like, you're going to have to forfeit this. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm not paying any earnest money for this. Yada, yada, yada. We'll have to go to court. So I'm like, man, this is, and meanwhile, like I said, this is all while I'm in Hawaii. So I'm waking up at 6 a.m. to a cancellation, possible lawsuit, and now having to like redo my entire plans with the property. And so anyway, go in with that and have to start back at square one. And so we go back to square one again. I go in, put some money in as far as with the other unit. Again, have to go back out of pocket and fix that one up completely, and then put the other one back on market. And again, we face the same issues. Inspection. That was the biggest lesson after that. I was like, I'm never gonna buy a property again without having an inspection report, because I had to basically sacrifice $30K when I resold that one again to make that one work, because again, they were like, well, there's so much that needs to be done that wasn't done correctly, and we don't want to take the risk of it. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. At this point, I'm trying to just get out the deal. Like, I want to get my money and I want to make some profit, but I'm like, I just want to get out the deal in total. And so luckily on the second one, duplex, that one that had been super severely messed up, we were able to kind of know what was to be expected on the inspection report. So we kind of fixed those things before it got to that point. But anyway, we fixed it up, sell that one quite easily. I think I'll walk out with like 130 at that time. But again, that's not the same amount. So the 142 would have been like mostly profit. On this one, I just spent an extra 20K plus holding costs. So again, that one wasn't, I don't even remember the exact profit, probably like closer to 80 to 90 on that. I know you guys saying a great deal. It is still a fantastic deal, but incurred a lot of headaches on that one again, and great lessons on that one. And I'm like, okay, with this whole multifamily thing, maybe I'm not cut out for it. Oh yeah, because the tenants, I forgot to even get into that. 3 out of the 4 tenants basically stopped paying rent. And I'll take accountability. I definitely was not a great landlord. You gotta think about it. This time I'm 26 with probably like 7 to 8 different tenants at that point. And I was managing it myself, so I wasn't properly handling things probably the way I should have. And I'll take responsibility for that. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm just not cut out to be a landlord right now. Most of my other flips would be single family. And so yeah, that's sort of the reason why I'm out of the game as far as like a multifamily side. But yeah, overall, the lessons that I would take for this one is never take the seller's word. Do your own due diligence. Be super, super due diligent in every property that you walk, that you decide to invest in. Again, make sure to be prepared on the front end. So do your own inspection before you purchase the property, because that'll save you on the back end as far as an inspection report. And thirdly, I would say know what you're getting yourself into. Because yeah, I had a chance, things went left. And so again, I had a chance to like completely zero out, because I had 3 different flips going on at the same time. Had I not been blessed and things worked out, then I could have been wiped out completely and had to start back from square one, square zero. You guys just make sure you know the risk that you're getting yourself into whenever acquiring properties, just in general. And yeah, but those would be the 3 main takeaways from that property. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, in the future, I'll do more breakdowns of this, but I thought it'd be just a great 3-part series of going over past experiences with flips and letting you guys know that everything's not always sunshines and rainbows. There's a lot of just dark clouds that come with also, the flip side and the real estate side of things. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Until next time, peace.